down the streets of Lagos. It's filled with young minds and teenagers that think and act that there's more to life than being forward in university. Oh, what a pity. Down to the streets in universities, I feel with undergraduates that think and act like undergraduates, without considering that someday they will be graduates. They have no idea that there's more to education than academic excellence. Oh, what a pity. Down to the real world, popularly known as the labor market, that has been remixed and renamed by our graduates as the favor market. It's filled with graduates with different certificates from the different field of studies, with little years or year or even months of experience, and they expect our entrepreneurs to welcome them with open hands because they came out with good grades. Oh, what a pity. Arise, arise, O youth, arise. It's time to think. It's time to think deeply. It's time to think innovatively and creatively. It's time to look inward. It's time to believe in yourself and discover your uniqueness. It's time to discover your talent. It's time to believe in yourself. It's time to explore. Explore, O youth, explore.
Keep clapping, keep clapping. Wow, thank you so much. That was amazing. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
What's your name?
I'm Okoli Ruth.
What do you do?
I'm a student, Educational Administration,
okay.
200 level.
200 level, Unilab.
University of Lagos, yes.
You're welcome.
Thank
That's
you very
amazing.
much.
So, apart from spoken word, what other talent do you have?
Okay, I love to write.
Okay.
My spoken word was written by me, so I wrote it by myself. Yeah. I love to speak, and I'm an ambassador. Yeah, she's my coach.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This is Teens Time. I'm your host, Chichi Umesiaka. This show is designed for teenagers, young adults, and also for parents. You're not left out. You have to get your kids to start watching this show. This is the only show I've told you you are free to be addicted to because you will learn so much. One, you will see young people like you, Ruth, inspire you to pick up your talent and run off with it. And also be able to go to school. You know, having your talent hasn't stopped you from going to school.
No, not at all.
So you can do both side by side and none will suffer. Join me, this show is just about to get started and trust me, we have lots of, loaded stuff today and you would enjoy it before the end of the show. This is Taste Time, like I said, and I'm your host, Chichi, and I'll be right back, don't go nowhere. Welcome back, everyone. This is still Taste Time. My name is Chichi Umesiaka, your host. Today, we are talking about something that is very universal. Everybody is talking about it. I think it's the new madness. I have someone, special guest in the studio, who's going to help us do justice to this topic. We are talking about how our teenagers can wisen up and prevent themselves from sexual predators. And I have in the studio today, Ngozi Okonkwo. He's a clinical psychologist. She's going to help us talk from her own wealth of experience. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for making our time to be here. Okay, let's roll in quickly. Let's get to know you first before we start talking about the topic.
Okay, my name is Ngozi Okonkwo. I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm also an expert sexual assault counselor.
Okay.
I work with the AIT Foundation.
Okay.
It's actually an NGO that deals with the rehabilitation of sexually assaulted victims.
Okay.
It's strictly for girls, children, and women.
Why only girls? We have guys that are also...
Well, I think the CEO actually...
That's her pet.
Yes, that's her pet.
Okay,
but we also deal with family issues, people with marital problems and...
that's domestic violence?
Domestic violence, all sorts of abuse. We also deal with men when they come in for counseling. We do not drive them away.
Okay, that's more on emotional,
Yes.
like rehabilitation.
Exactly.
Okay. Today's topic, can you help us, how can the teenagers prevent themselves from becoming prey to sexual molestators?
Okay. Not just the teenagers, everybody. There are so many things we can do to help ourselves, especially in our generation, in our world and age. First of all, one of the major things or one of the major factors that have really aided in the spread of sexual abuse or other forms of abuse is the social media.
Sure.
It is the greatest enemy of our youth. and the world in general. So, first of all, keep your private life private. Because
not everything on social media. I think that's, you know, I wish the kids, our teenagers, this generation, they would get it.
Yeah, someone, like, if you followed the trend of some forms of abuses, someone will quickly or just post something, I'm partying, be drunk, I'm in social place. And you never know who is trailing you. You never know if someone is watching out for you.
True.
And you know, these are predictors or the perpetrators. One of the major things they look out for is opportunity.
True.
And once they get it, they strike. So first of all, keep your private life private. Be very careful of what you post on the internet, because it's very, very important. Secondly, always tell someone where you're going to. It's very important. Sometimes we just pack our things, maybe in school, at home, anywhere, we just pack our things and say, I'm going out. Always find someone you can talk to. Always tell someone, I'm going to social place. I will be back social time.
So if something happens, they'll be able to trace you.
Exactly. I'm going to see social person and I will be back social time, so that if you're not back, there will be someone there to care. There will be someone there to tell someone else that he or she said is going to social place and she's not back or he's not back. At least, even if there is a form of danger somewhere, it can be curtailed, okay? Yes. Then thirdly, depending on where you are at the moment, always go with someone, always walk with someone. Although we do not take for granted that sometimes issue of sexual abuse can happen anywhere. In the home, in schools, in churches, okay? But these are the little things we can do to help ourselves, always. And when, trust your instincts. Always trust always trust your instinct. When you are with a specific person, in a specific place, or with specific people, and you don't trust what is going on, act on the first instinct that comes to you. Run. And if you think you're trapped already, do something. You can scream, you can shout, just do anything.
Put up a fight.
Yes. And some people have been encouraged to go into this, defense skills?
I'm in that, school of thought.
Yes, because sometimes you can fight with your words, you can fight with your body, but just do what you can. It's also true that sometimes you might find yourself in situations where you cannot do anything. It's not your fault. And never forget that the victim is never to be blamed. The predictor, the perpetrator, is always to be blamed.
I agree with you, but the society we're in, most times is the people, the victims, they become, they'll say, why were you there? Who took you there? Stuff like that. That's the stigma. Sometimes it makes them, they don't even want to talk about it.
Exactly. That is one thing we should also talk about, because we focus on the victim instead of the perpetrator. Whatever happens, the perpetrator
is wrong.
Is to be punished, whatever happens, never the victim. And then the issue of blaming the victim makes a whole lot of other victims not to speak out. And then the issue of not developing a good relationship with your loved ones, the parents, especially the mothers, also is another factor why the victim would never speak out. Yes.
I wanted to ask something you just mentioned now. I've had cases where the teenagers or the teenage girl is being molested by someone, and then the mother knows, she confides in the mother and says, no, you're lying. So I'm wondering, in that case, should the mother be, checked out if she's okay? Because seriously, it's happening almost every time. I called the mother, she said, no, she's lying. In that case, do you think it's a teenager that is lying, or there's something?
Well,
why is it that the parents or the people, the guardians, they don't get to believe them?
Okay, one major factor why people around do not get to believe the story is because the perpetrator is always very good. Let me put it that way. The perpetrator is an expert. He takes time to groom the victim. He takes time to groom the family also. And most times, he's the nicest person, the most trusted person. Sure. He might be the priest, the pastor.
Sure.
He might be that person that carries the handbag for the family, okay? And he might be the person that comes to help around with the house chores. And when something happens, the parents is like, no, this can't happen. He's a very nice person. He's a teacher in the ministry. He's a pastor. But these are the devils to look out for. So the parents should also be aware. When that man or that woman is becoming so nice,
you should be asking.
He's becoming so good.
What's going on?
And he's also always checking on one member of the family most times. Then that, I'm not saying
all of
we
them
do not have good people, but parents should be on the watch out.
I agree.
And parents should always believe their child. Always believe their child.
Give them a benefit of doubt.
Always believe them.
Thank you.
Once your child feels, my parent believes me and listens to me,
he can confide in you.
He or she can confide in you.
Thank you for saying that. For me, I usually don't shy away from using my story to talk to my teenagers. You know, growing up, I was molested by family members and people that my parents were actually training, paying their theology's fee, paying their school fees and stuff like that, until I started putting up a fight and I said, no more. You have to kill me before you penetrate. In situations like that, at some point, I shut down. It affected me psychologically. Let's talk to the people that have already been exposed to that kind of, because it really affected me growing up, until somehow I just told myself, don't give power to these people that have taken advantage of you. Rise up and, outgrow this. But it's not easy for a lot of these teenagers who have, so what's your advice to them? Okay,
first of all, the victim should know that it's never her fault. Whatever happens, she is never to be blamed, whatever happens. Secondly, if you have been a victim of such madness, speak out. At least, sometimes they say problem shared is problem half solved. Although it's not applicable in our generation now because your private life might be made public before you know it. But in this situation, there's always someone you can talk to. Your mother, your father, a friend, you can always talk to someone and do it immediately. It helps you purge out. It helps you recollect yourself and then seek for help. And do not forget prayers, because in as much as we know it's a psychological thing, prayer is also very important.
Okay, you talked about talking to people, and a lot of us get to talk to people, and the people you speak to, they take advantage of you. In that case, what do you do? Because it happened to me over and over again, and it's also like a cycle. The people who have been abused once, if care is not taken, it happens over and over again. And in my case, I started wondering, is something wrong with me? And I want you to quickly answer this question so that I would go on a short break. But in that case, what should the person do?
Okay, first of all, these victims are being victims because they are looked as being vulnerable, being needy, and being soft down in a particular aspect of life. So whoever abuses them does that because he or she finds the victim vulnerable in certain ways. Now, when you go to people that are supposed to help you and they end up
taking
abusing
advantage,
you, speak up and run for your life. And also, when you get to suspicious environments, there is this thing we call trusting your instinct. Like I said earlier, before you're being abused, generally, something tells you that something is wrong somewhere. And once you observe some body movements, don't even wait for the perpetrator to say or act. Just excuse yourself and leave.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. This is the confidentiality corner. That's what I love to call it, where I get to answer questions sent in by my teenagers from home. But today I'm going to, answer a question from a parent, not a teenager here. And this woman, the mother said, Chichi, I caught my 18-year-old son watching pornography. I am so disappointed. I've stripped him of all his privileges, but I just don't think it's enough. What should I do to him? Mommy, he is doing what almost all the teenagers are doing. It doesn't make it right, but you've done enough by stripping him of all his privileges. And trust me, taking those things away from him is not going to pass the message down to him. I think you need to sit down with him and talk. There's something wrong somewhere. Beating him, saying you're not going out today, you're not eating this, you're not doing that, he won't still get it. If he finds opportunity after everything dies down, he'll still go back to the habit. So if it's a habit he has cultivated, you need to talk to him. And it's going to be a gradual thing. You need to show him love. Use empathy at some point to talk to him. You've beaten him enough. You've done the physical thing. I think you need to do the emotional one. As a mother, trust me, I know you can penetrate. You'll be able to talk to him. Find out what has gone wrong and help him. Talk. Talking in this generation, I tell parents, please don't beat, don't overbeat. In fact, once they become older teenagers, stop beating. You would be losing them by beating them. But sit him down, talk to him, find out how deep he is into dependence. It's an addiction. Just like drug addiction, alcohol, a lot of the guys, or even some girls now, they're addicted to pornography. So don't keep thinking of what you would do to him. What you would do now is sit down with him, even if it means taking him out to somewhere, sit down with him and ask him, okay, what's going on? How long have you been doing this? And find a way to help him. I can also help him if you want. Just feel free to get my details and send me a message. But no more punishment. Discipline him the right way, but punishment, no more. Thank you. Keep sending in your questions, and I would be glad to answer them. Don't go nowhere. We'll come back to end the show. Wow, it's been an amazing show. I've enjoyed it all the way. And it's not over yet. I'm leaving you in the hands of some very, very cute guys, teenagers, and they are wonderful, good performers. They are called Jesus Gang, Melvin, Jaden, Isaac, and Victor. Until I come your way next time, please, keep being your best. You can become whoever you want to become. Take care. Bye.
This is team, I be head of a guy called Jonah. When God called him, he turned the runner. I just wanna get high for God, and now I'm praying us to be the one true deliverer.
We roll up a sleep, I decline. Give me a sip, I decline. I'm praying to God all the time, chilling with those at the time. I'm at the back of the line, mentally race, so we getting it right. One day we be getting it right. One day we be getting it right. Cause we going for the light, yeah, we going for the light. Yeah, heaven is destined for me. I'm off the family tree, trying to roll it with these. MS, we trying to be real, and we don't be messing with these. I'm praying and rapping and seeing some things. Rappers be rappers of vulgar, we don't need nothing so vulgar. Since y'all be living with scrutiny, I'm gonna be rapping immunity. Devil had an attack. He gon' get some more if he messing with my thoughts. Pray to Jesus, you don't want a problem with my squad. Let's go. The devil had an attack. He gon' get some more if he messing with my thoughts. Pray to Jesus, you don't want a problem with my squad. Cause I don't really fall for lying tongues. Oh yeah, lying tongues, cause I don't really fall for lying tongues, cause I don't really fall for lying tongues, oh you fell for it, lying tongues, JG, lying tongues, when we pull up top in the see, they're rushing. When we pull up top in the, we be praising, I'm praising the hour. Yeah, but you know they be thinking I'm right. Going too hard, they be thinking I'm mad. Praying on night as a me and I'm a sinner. Way I'm feeling like a real. John 3:3, it was surreal. Angel watching him like TV surreals. I down with crimes and I rose with him. So now I have to me none of a sin. Blink on the money, yeah, put it in a coffin. I'm on the win side, see the haters running. You on the losing side, see the devil's running. Here's a coma, I'm a winner. You a stoner, you a sinner. You the loser. Champagne, that chick gotta go.
Real ones in the crib, no foes. I'm stuck in my eyes, not the lows. OGs now put sell dope. Switching lanes, I'm a down for my city. Every time I'm a rap, put it down for my city. You were 6 feet down if you want to talk silly. Drinks in the crib, no praising. Every time we praise God. Every time we praise God. Hey, you been looking at us. While we stop, we'll make it drop. Fans up, hands down. We beat the choir every day. We pray. The devil had a night attack. He gon' get some more if he messing with my touch. Pray to Jesus, you don't want a problem with my squad. Yeah.